believe that AI is failing in marketing, and you're going to go, that is an absolutely mad idea. But listen to me for a second. I know that if you want to put conversion tracking in, if you want to put cookie consent in, you want to find out how to do a plugin, AI, ChatGPT, Claude, they're all absolutely outstanding at doing this. But what I'm increasingly seeing is it's not getting results. So on the one hand, if it's a do task, it's really, really productive. But if it's anything that involves creativity, it's starting to fail. I'll give you a simple example. I have got an idea for a social media agency, and my spin-off from the side of Click Convert, and I'm thinking of calling it Cherry Thing, and I've got a particular type of font style and everything. So asked, Claude and ChatGPT to put me up, and I also did Gemini, give me a visual, great visuals, but the trouble is I want the font slightly bigger, I want that moving there. But it's one image, it's not layered, I can't edit it. And then if I start giving it instructions, then it can't do it. So in some ways, if I want the control I need to make it work, then I might as well start from the beginning and create it myself. And then the other thing I've started to notice is that if one of my ways of doing these videos is I'll be driving to work and I'll be dictating to it on ChatGPT. And ChatGPT is absolutely brilliant at dictation, far better than the other ones. And then I've got it, and then I basically just take my transcript and I work it from there. And occasionally I'll ask it to do, okay, just put this into a script and use my script template or whatever. And what I find out is it totally destroys my voice, my tone, my manner, how I work, and just gives me something else. And then I brought this to the team this morning, and Charlotte said, do you know, when it creates text, headlines, titles, copy, it always tries to do it in a 3-word pattern. I thought I didn't know that either. Because here's something else I've begun to notice. If you get AI to write something, say you've got no ability at writing copywriting at all, and you ask ChatGPT to create something for you, it looks like it's created you an absolute work of copywriting genius. If you're really good at it, and you've been doing it for years, you ask it to do it, and it looks really capable, you're thinking, oh, bloody hell, I'm going to be out of a job here. But then, when you actually start running those ads, you find out it just doesn't work. And I'm beginning to sense that there's just something about us as humans that AI doesn't understand. It doesn't understand our humanity, our creativity. And somehow, even though you might only have 30 characters or 90 characters in a Google Ads type of description or headline or whatever, even in that short space of text, somehow we can sense that isn't right, and it doesn't connect with us emotionally, it doesn't connect with us at a human level, and it just doesn't work. Go back and look at your data. Start looking at your ads from a few years ago and the conversion rates and the click-through rates and them, compared it now to the click-through rates. You'll find there's a big difference. So what it's doing is it's giving you the ability for us to look faster, more efficient, some might say lazy, but it just doesn't work. And the other thing, it's not just at copywriting, I've seen this as well. I'm running at the moment, trying to expand the agency as ever, so I've got quite a few projects running. So one of my thoughts was, we're running an awful lot of email marketing at the moment. So I'll go out and I'll get ChatGPT to create me an email marketing plan, and then we need an ads plan, so on. So quickly thought, this is going to be brilliant. I'll actually have fully documented strategies for once. And it gives them, and I've started executing on them, and they're not working. And I've had to go back, look at them, go, oh no, I do that differently, I do that differently. And we're also beginning to see it with something else. Quite a few clients are coming along and going, oh, I'm going to take Claude and I'm going to connect it with something called Windsor.ai, and I can connect my Claude to Google Ads, and then I can get an analysis of an AdWords account. And what it's doing is it comes out with this great plan and analysis. And when you start looking at it, it's going, well, you need to scale this campaign here. But literally, it is at an impression share of 90%. So we really can't ever get to 100. It can't do it. And there's just small nuanced bits about this that you realize it doesn't really understand the context and the nuances of actually running marketing. So I think in when we ask it to do things that work where there's a very clearly defined outcome, such as write a contract, write an employment contract, I had another good one. Karen and I bought this beautiful cottage in the village, and our intention was to rent it out to help young people get on the property ladder, live in the village, and then buy a property in the village, and we'd be renting this cottage out to them. We've stopped that project because the very first person we rented it out to literally destroyed our cottage. Genuinely destroyed it. And the trouble was, he was a very well-known character in the village, and we'd known him for 20 years. What I didn't realise was I didn't know actually how he lived, which was quite filthy, to be honest with you. Anyway, so he's left. I had to spend 13 days working on this property, getting it back into condition. Took me only 3 days to sell it. Didn't use AI copywriting on that one. Did a bit of it myself. Got it sold. Brilliant. But the problem was that I'm now writing to him because I don't want to drop myself legally in it. So I've got ChatGPT and Claude writing me letters to him. Clearly, he's immediately sticking it into his AI at his end and sending me a response back. So what we got is two AIs warring away in a legal argument that was going nowhere. I even went to the pub to him, invited me to the pub to discuss this. Cheeky bugger recorded the conversation. But as ever, I'm very, very careful, so no problems there. But my wife, he starts ringing us up, and he's going, I think he should only pay X amount, small amount. Anyway, my wife answers the phone one evening, and she is livid about this. She literally is so angry about we took this beautiful picturesque cottage and he turned it into basically a pigsty is what he turned it into. Anyway, she very strongly expressed her concerns and her views of him to him. Okay, and I think at that point, this step beyond AI, he suddenly realized that he had a very angry woman who really didn't care about the money, and all she wanted to do was make sure that the world knew what a filthy animal he actually was. And she didn't care one iota about how much this is going to cost. Next day, he settled with me. You don't get that with AI. And I think this is where we're starting to run into these nuances with it. Okay, I think where we want to know how to do something, how to speed up a clip in Premiere Pro, absolutely brilliant. But when it comes to marketing, marketing is very unusual because marketing requires us to convince somebody. We've got to basically call out who that person is. We've got to call out their problem, and we've got to convince them that we have a solution and we can deliver on the promise that we're going to make to them. And I think AI just does not understand that very small nuance about how humans work. And you could argue, of course, oh yes, it's going to get better as time goes by. But no, I think there's just something fundamentally wrong here that we've all been missing with AI. Because AI, if you all start going to AI and you start doing all the copywriting with AI and all the marketing strategies with AI, then what you're going to get is, you're going to get, as Stephen Bartlett said in that book he did years ago, I think it was Diary of a CEO, I read it. Basically, his agency had a slide in it, and he managed to get himself featured on the BBC with this big blue slide in the agency, and everybody wanted to come and see the slide at the agency. Everybody's got slides now. We've got barbecues outside, we've got games rooms, we've got a gym here. Every agency's got these types of things here now. But at the time, it was unique, so he wasn't wallpaper anymore. But with AI, you're principally delivering wallpaper solutions. So your ads are going to look the same as the next guy's ads and the next guy's ads. And then the other thing is, we've got lots of agencies talking about, we're moving towards videos as well. So yes, you're going to now have to start producing videos to go along with your products in the Google Shopping ads. But again, comes another problem. All these videos, the style of them, the lady getting up from the chair with the handbag, they're all going to look the same. They're not going to be different. In our brains, they're all just going to become wallpaper. Probably somebody with a static image is probably going to do better because he's the only one left with a static image, or somebody who shoots it on their iPhone and it looks really bad, that will stand out far better than an AI image. And I think that's coming a little bit more to it. We can see where the problems are starting to come in, because We all know about AI slop, and we know how Google, well not Google, YouTube have removed millions of accounts in the last 2 months or so. They've been demonetizing accounts because those accounts don't provide any value. They're just generating AI content. And Google themselves, the AI type of Zen masters, are even trying to get rid of it because they need genuine content. But interestingly, talking about Google Ads as well and YouTube, demand gen's changing a bit, so it's going to change. So at the moment, what I can do is I can create videos like this. I can then run ads against those videos, and I can then throw them to our landing pages, and people can discover our perfect repeatable ad system and how we scale ads and how we make it work for people and how we turn them around. But what they're about to do, because I have another channel, I've got a channel called Authentic Me, and it's just about me and cars and going to hotels. So we're off to Malaga in a few weeks' time. I'm going out there specifically to review a hotel for my little channel, and I do it principally as a hobby business, but it is a business. But what's coming is those videos that I do on a hotel, that hotel now will, if they have my agreement, they'll be able to use my videos. So the video starts, you click on the video in the preview, and then it will take you to the hotel booking website. YouTube type of influencers, creators, they're going to be able to monetize their videos in a new way by having partnerships with actually the products they reviewed, the hotels, the services they reviewed. They'll be able to earn money off that. Google's really trying to nail down onto YouTube because classic search has got some problems in the fact that people aren't going there anymore. They're going to Claude, they're going to Gemini directly, they're going to ChatGPT, and they're asking for questions. Weirdly, Claude has been so slow this week. At times it can't even give answers. I don't know if it's to do with something with the Gulf and the power consumptions they need or whatever. But anyway, that's my type of little rant over. I do think you're going to have to rethink your marketing. The idea that marketing is going to become fully AI, I think, is something of a fallacy. It is going to be one of those areas because it doesn't have a defined set and outcome. Someone comes in, they want a car, I give them the form, they sign the form, give them the keys, take them outside to it, there you go. Marketing's not like that. We've got to be able to persuade, we've got to be able to overcome objections, and even in the small amount of text we have within Google Ads, humans are incredibly smart on just spotting things that don't seem right. That's how we've survived millions of years. We're very good at spotting something that isn't right, and we avoid those like the plague. It's our survival instinct. So yeah, have a fantastic Easter weekend, guys.